You happen to be the most knowledgeable person left. Everybody else seems to be
Eric
gone.
not here too?
Eric stepped out. Oh, he might have office hours now. I think he has office hours Thursday
I'm
through.
going to show this video to my grade 8 students, science.
yeah.
I'm a science teacher in Arizona. I'm on fall break, and I found out that there's lectures here in the UC Davis from biochemistry to physics, then everything.
This is my laptop. This is the beam starts. So in the center of is the main magnet, and it cycles around here depending on the high frequency field and the magnet, and then it gets extracted here. There's 3 extraction tools here, so 2 magnets and 1 electrostatic unit. And if it gets, when the beam gets out here, there's several beam stops here and beam focusing magnets. And then we have a bending magnet, so we can operate up to 7. We have 7 beam lines that we can switch to. So, and then usually we use this one for radiation effects users. So it's in a cave. Then we have another beam line that we specifically set up for eye cancer therapy.
So that's a target.
Yeah, that would be here. So this is where patients would sit when they get beam focused onto their eye.
So the beam starts from there.
The beam starts here. So we have a main magnet. There's a source in there where we fill in gas. So hydrogen, mostly for protons. We can do alpha with helium gas. And so there's deuterium gas that we can do. So we can do different beam types. And so a main magnet will just start accelerating and spinning, form up a proton beam here, and then it eventually gets extracted.
And magnets all over.
Oh yeah, there's extraction magnets here, there's focusing magnets, or beam centering and so on.
So that area is high radiation.
This is where the radiation, in the pipe here and then comes out here. So that's where radiation builds up. I mean, there's radiation, only like gamma radiation, starting up within the enclosure here, so that's why we have a 10-foot wall surrounding the whole enclosure here.
So it is also used for research, medical research.
We're starting again, yes. More like
If you want to take it back in the cave, you can do it.
Yeah, more like physics.
I'm missing one, by the way, if you happen to know where it is. Eric probably took it. He always takes them.
It's actually from the 30s. It was modified for us here in the 60s and moved from Berkeley to here. So originally this was sitting in Berkeley. And this is where everything starts. And here this is for high frequency, so like a resonator tank. So and there's a frequency field building up internally. So the combination of the main magnet, the big magnet, and the frequency field makes the protons accelerate and spin.
So that will be a high particle beam.
Yes, so they accelerated to, I don't know what the speed is, probably about 1/10 of the speed of light or so. And then they were extracted here. So there's a beam pipe coming out, there's focusing here. There's various beam monitoring and beam stops that we can put in here. And then we have a so-called deflecting bending magnet, so we can operate up to, we have 7 beam lines coming out here, and depending on the magnet setting we can bend the protons to whatever beam line we use. And then there's still more focusing magnets behind that, so it's not shown here.
So that's the schematic diagram.
That's like almost like a 1-2, so it's a biscale. So here how the beam starts, bend out here, and the various beam lines that we have, and beam plugs and beam stops. Yeah. All locked up now. There shouldn't be any radiation today because it didn't operate. Faded away. And it's almost. obstacles here. Usually we have, so this door is usually closed. This is a hydraulic door. So we have a hydraulic pump and usually it's all closed. You can see it's about 10 feet deep. So it's to protect us from navigation. And then we have another gate door with some switches here to make sure that the interlocks are set. So here's what you saw in the model. That's the blue one. It's the outer core of the main magnet. It all starts inside here. It's all enclosed. So in the middle we have the beam starting up, and here are various outlets for extra magnets. So there's a main magnet and this little flip core, that's what we call it. So to fine tune the magnet here. Comes out. Once it's extracted, it goes to a quadrupole magnet to focus, and then there's another focusing magnet here, and then we have various beam control for stopping, taking measurements before the beam goes out, and fine tune up to here, and then once we know the beam goes straight in here, then we can go further out. Here is the bending magnet. We have the various beam lines we can bend. We can bend to more quad magnets.
So these are
focusing magnets. The beam to focus the beam up and down, left and right. And then we can put like something in there and read it, like read isochronous, for example. So this we are starting to revive it. So we used to have, it's no longer operating, but we might revive it. We have a remote hand that you can grab stuff, put it in the shaft here, move it out in another radiation control room. And then on the other side, you see that yellow tank is for building up the high frequency field. This is air conditioning as part of the vacuum system. So the vacuum pump uses heated oil, but it has to be cooled down on the top. This is part of the high frequency system inside. There's an electron tube, about 100 kilowatts, power amplifier, so to make a high energy or high energy beam and a high energy frequency. The unique part of this cyclotron is we can modify the frequency, and thereby modifying the energy of the photons. So it's not a fixed energy, so it's a variable energy cyclotron. So you can produce energies from as low as 2 MeV to up to 67 MeV photons, and then we have other things. This is another, the second vacuum pump. So it's a diffusion pump. So it heats up oil inside the tank, and the oil vapor extracts. So there's a vacuum pump on the other side, and the oil vapor extracts every small particles and makes the vacuum even better than just the vacuum pumps we have downstairs, the turbo pumps. They can deliver good vacuum, but it's not good enough for the photons. We need really high vacuum, like almost like space conditions. Here's the access to the other beam lines. And this one, by shooting photons on a little target, and then inside this magnet sweeps away the remaining protons, and out come the neutrons into the next group.
It's a graphite?
There is a beryllium target, from what I know. So it's beryllium that generates neutrons.
Okay. This operates how many times a week?
5 times a week. Yeah. And we're probably going to increase eventually. So 5 times during the day. So but we are already talking about introducing evening shifts. Because there's more, we have funding now for doing more research and testing.
So different physics and medical science.
Yeah. So but right now our normal operation is doing normal daytime for 8 hours operation. But some customers do 12 hours. Depending on
So this is a busy area.
Yeah, this one is usually closed, but yes, it's becoming busy.
Okay.
Then power supplies, another room, a little smaller than this area, but there's all the power supplies concentrated. We operate those from the control room, operated monitor.
Everything is automated.
Not automated, but it's a lot of manual control, but we control the remotely from the control room. Remote setting, and then most of the time we're using this for users coming in here. They can set up their computers and electronics. So this beamline is occasionally used for neutrons, and we have a water tank here, so to buffer all the neutrons that are remaining, just to keep them away from us, or spreading out. So this is more like the user setup area. Specific electronics to set up the beam correctly and the various filters they use. And there's also an X-ray system inside. This is where patients usually are set up. So they have settings for a mask, and then so they've been set down here, and so then the beam comes out here and gets filtered in various settings. There's water columns, there's various color filters, and eventually it comes out here and gets focused on the eye. And there's very specific energy, very specific current to give you a very narrow range where the beam actually is. This is their oncology department. There's medical customers do radiation effects on either electronics or material to test for space activities. So maybe the beamline comes out here, and we can set up electronics here or material just to expose to a defined beam.
IDs.
The two beam,
High particle beams.
to the particle protons or other materials. This have been used in the past. Now we're providing fluid beamlines again for future experiments. So that's still a work in progress.